money that I collected. It's honorable that brought
Destiny of Nigeria.
contribution to Nigerian peace.
Me, I want men, all of them look into
But there comes a time when you
want to take steps every day to make this country a better place.
And the new Nigeria is
Education is telling them it's time to change.
Yes, it's a beautiful day and a good day to be alive. You are listening to Ground Zero right here on Procyon Radio and Invicta 98.9 FM. My name is Ehis Agbon, and today on the program Ground Zero, we shall be doing a review of all of the elections that took place, and most importantly, the most recent election that took place. Well, did I say a review? We'll actually not be doing a review. We'll just only look at, now that the elections are over, what next? That is the big question. What next? And what next, I would say, would be for us to see how we can move this nation forward, because it's like I always tell everybody, when the politician and electioneering is over and the wars and all of the plenty big talk is over, it will be time for us to face the hard reality, and the reality would be facing governance and how all of those that we have voted into office will make the quality of life a little bit easier, better, and okay for all of us. Okay, like I said earlier, my name is Ehis Agbon. I already have my guest in the studio in the person of Danjuma, Abbas, Dangwa. Danjuma, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me, Ehis, and my greetings to the listening public.
All right. So, the elections took place, and people came out, participated, and we already know the outcome of the elections, and it's becoming a norm in Nigeria, though, that after every election, people would always take positions, people would complain, people would want to say that they didn't get a fair deal and all of that. And of course, there are medium of redress for all of them. But now the big question is, now that politicking is over, voting is over, and all of that, what next? That's what's on the lips of almost everybody. So I would also put it to you, what next?
Well, what next is what it is. The people, the people are in charge in democracy. And to think that democracy in itself is being reduced to just elections in Nigeria is actually something that is quite shallow in the understanding of what democracy is all about. Certainly, these candidates have all made some various level of commitments. They have told us what it is they will do. They have taken stock and assessment of what governance or what the government was before even contesting for elections. They have identified the things that they would want to change. And somehow, I'm sure the citizens have been able to engage some of these people to even get to know what it is that interests them and what it is that is, the passion behind why they are contesting for elections in the first place. So certainly they have let it all out, what they would do around healthcare, what they would do around education, all of the issues that we would expect people who are occupying offices, to do as governors, and of course, not forgetting the main powerhouse itself, which is going to be the State Houses of Assembly. Now, one thing that we have also been able to understand is that the new assembly that we're going to be having is one that is going to enjoy financial autonomy.
Yeah.
So certainly they are not just going to come back now to tell lies to their constituencies that, sorry, we went in there and because of the overbearing power of the executive, we were unable to stand our ground and ensure that there was proper oversight, that we were able to see to it that what it was you wanted implemented in the budget were really, implemented as it should. They certainly will also be coming back, will not be coming back rather, with tales about what kind of bills they couldn't pass because of an overbearing executive. this financial autonomy has now, drawn the dividing line between the legislative and the executive. In fact, it also draws the same line even for the judiciary. So certainly, yes, there is a collaboration. There is some level of collaboration, but that level of dependence that the judges or the members of the House of Assembly will be waiting on the body language of the chief executive before they can carry out their duties is actually not going to be there. And I think that is actually something quite fundamental that the people should be excited about. And for the executive, yes, government there's never been any point in time that the people will cease to influence, inform, and even evaluate what it is that they are getting from the executive arm of government until outside elections. Certainly, governance is a continuum, and the people will now have to gear up, and take interest in the day-to-day decisions that the chief executive will make. And certainly, they now have also the State House of Assembly, where they have members who are representing them there, who can be recalled, No member that is there should spend 4 years, except if the people desire to allow him spend 4 years until he has had a feel of what he wants to do, and then return back home and is replaced or is also re-elected. So the game now is still in the court of Nigerians. As citizens, we are not done yet. It is not over. Elections were just us saying that, no, this is the policies that we think we want to see implemented in our state. And certainly whoever is winning is also made aware by the fact that if the margin is slim, for instance, you know that the person whom you are beaten to that election actually had a large followership, a large level of acceptability based on some certain policies that differs from yours as the candidate elect today, or as the candidate elect today. And certainly you will want to go back to the drawing board and reflect those realities if you are still thinking about coming back tomorrow for another re-election. And so that said, we now have a situation where the people should not just stop now and say that they have voted and that is where it ends. And because it's the norm usually that people, when you don't get the person you elected you don't get the person you elected on the ballot gets returned as the elected person, certainly you begin to think that no, this whole government or administration is one that you should have no interest in. No, it's not going to be like that. Whatever decision that is being made is going to affect all of us as a people, and so certainly we should take interest. It is not the usual situation where the winners of the league can just go and enjoy the trophy and take tours and enjoy the fact that they are owning the trophy, and that is where it ends. In this case, the decisions that are going to be made, whether you care to know or not, is going to actually affect you in whatever it is that is being implemented. So certainly the game is now still in the court of the people, because democracy is most defined by the people and their participation will count. So if they refuse to participate, then they will not be doing that out of the fact that they are opposing somebody who is already elected, but they're certainly going to be doing that to their own peril, and that is what should be avoided.
Okay, now, but all with your summation now, with all that has happened, it has strengthened our democracy.
Well, certainly it has strengthened our democracy. We are not where we used to be. Prior to now, no one gets to know what happens at the polling unit except the electoral officers and, of course, presiding officers and electoral officers who are doing collation of results. But now you can go to the IRF portal, even now that the elections, the winner have been declared, like that of Kaduna, Nasarawa. You have the same thing in Lagos and a few other states that this election, I think there's only one state that we're even having that is said to be inconclusive.
Two actually, Adamawa and Kebbi.
At Kebbi.
Yes.
I have not seen Taraba yet, but I think by and large we have most of these election results already announced. So as it is now, you would expect that you can go back to this portal, you can see this result, whatever is happening there. Yes, there are some few issues that are here and there about cancellations and what have you, but these are not to say that we have not gone through an electoral process. And certainly this is also not to say that the elections that we had in the gubernatorial pools was not quite far better than what we saw in the presidential election. But yes, there are still concerns about BIVAS, real-time election day transmission. That is also going to be an issue for contention. Perhaps people are going to be going to court to have all of those things addressed. But let's leave that to political parties and their candidates, and let us return now to looking more into what are the decisions to be taken, what it is that each of these elected officials are going to be implementing or doing, and what decisions are they going to take on our behalf. Because as much as possible, if we lose sight of that, then we will actually be surprised at the end of the day when we come back to take stock over a period of time what we have really achieved. Because as it is today, there is no candidate that has won election that can come in and govern a state without the consent and the participation of the people.
Yes, and I haven't looked at that, and with the assent that the president gave to those bills just last week, and we are looking at our first new set of players coming into the game.
Yes, certainly.
And of course, with new rules being introduced now, and these are rules that will definitely bring governance closer to the people, and hopefully the common man will benefit from all of this. Still looking at the whole process and some of the things that came up as a result of this, we know that with the amendment of the Electoral Act, it created room for younger persons to participate.
Yes.
And with that, we saw some younger persons coming in. In some other parts of the country, which I do not, well, we have to mention it. Take, for example, like in the case of Lagos State, where we see ethnic colorations through how the polling happened and all of that. I do not think that's the way to go. That was a downward. That was a minus for our democracy.
Oh yes, certainly it is. Certainly it is. But at the point when government is going to go all out to collect the revenue, they are not going to be discriminating one from the other. Government will be interested in whoever is taxable to pay taxes, and that is what is going to make government work. And one thing is that at the point of politicking, we have various interests. People can be divided along that interest, but it should not be beyond that, because at the point of governance, every person now being elected, whether as a representative of a constituency or as a chief executive, is going to want to have a united people, being led by him. And so, if I saw some tidbits about how people are being given tax notices immediately after the election, even in Lagos. Certainly, it's not going to be discriminating one from the other, because by the time people who own these businesses realize that they cannot continue to do businesses here and they begin to move away, from that particular state, certainly something will go wrong around the fiscal plan, around the sustainability of that of the fiscal space for that state. What that means is that there wouldn't be enough money to oil the machinery of government. And so you want to have all of the people now backing you up, providing you the needed support, to get by and to get things right. So it is not the same sentiment that we go into elections that we get to play at the point of governance. Certainly, people will have to stand up and speak up in areas where they feel that they are being underserved. And certainly, it's also the responsibility of the people who govern to ensure that they are governing for all. That is actually one thing that politicians do understand, and quite little that the followers, people who are more drawn to partisan interest and even identity politics, like we are looking at the underlying effect of ethnic coloration in places like Lagos, and of course across Nigeria. Some of these things may have happened, not just in Lagos State, and so certainly that low level of understanding is a sentiment that will not last the test of time, because for whoever it is that is now going to be saddled with the responsibility of leadership, having all of the people behind you, having all of the people, supporting whatever decisions you are going to be making is critical.
I think our democracy is getting better and getting strengthened with all of this that happens, because there was some time back I was just rubbing minds with some persons and we are looking at Nigeria in totality. And because of our discussion, we discovered that the military incursion into politics and government robbed us of opportunity of having resolved all of the issues that we are facing now.
Yes.
We have resolved them right from the 70s. That's like 30 years ago.
Yes.
But better late than never, and we are where we are today, and we believe that we are getting it better. But the most important thing for us is to, first of all, play down on those things that reduce us as human beings, those areas where we as people could have been able to bond. Like our diversity shouldn't be a dividing point, but rather a bonding point for us.
In fact, if you look at the election results, you will see that there is no stronghold or sacred place for any political party. People voted along their interest in nearly every polling unit. If the results we have seen is the authentic results, even from the IRF portal, then certainly you would know that there is no such thing as a safe haven for any political party, and people did not vote along the same kind of interest we saw them vote at the presidential elections. Certainly the people who voted seem to have a clearer understanding of why they are voting this time and who they are voting for. And when you look at these realities, it tells you that our democracy has grown. Because when you look at the issues that have always invited the military's incursion into disrupting the democratic process over time, those concerns are still here till date. That politicians will behave as much to the sentiment of the people. They will play along those sentiments. They will heighten tension. They can even bring it to the point where there is disruption of peace. But we have noticed again in the recent election, even people who had not seen the need to engage in public debate and engagement with the media have had the need to begin to run around. You saw Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos, who had turned down requests for debate earlier, begin to run around looking for platforms and opportunities to speak up and connect with the people about what his blueprint for the next tenure that he seeks re-election could be like. And so it is quite clear that there is no one who is going to come up tomorrow to say that these are the people who voted me and these are the people who didn't. Because certainly in every polling unit, there are people who saw the need to actually put in that trust and give it back in. It's unfortunate, however, that we have not still seen where we have this clear departure from vote buying. And for these people who have, of course, done the Talia kind of politics,
the noodles
politics, and having monies, play a role in deciding who it is that they are voting for. Certainly, if they carry on with that kind of mentality, I think they will be getting more of what they deserve than what they have negotiated. Because at least for them, they have seen payday already, and for the people who are more serious about the issues of governance, I think it is time to roll up the sleeve and ensure that every decision that the State House of Assemblies are going to sanction or endorse are in every way reflecting the will of the people, and that will of the people is what is being transmitted in the day-to-day implementation work of the executive. Anything short of that would actually be bringing us closer to having a rethink about the process. But as far as it is today, our democracy has grown. We have seen again that political parties, have not really consolidated what they had always considered a stronghold. You've seen Ebonyi. Ebonyi voted Dave Umahi as governor under the PDP platform before he defected to the APC. And then you have seen now that the people in Ebonyi have now voted the APC to return. Yeah. And if you will consider that it is something strange now, you should look back to those years when ANPP's candidate, I think Senator Julius Ocha, was contesting consistently in that state, and he was always getting closer to the goal. Every now and then, people had confidence in that political party, had confidence in his candidacy, and over time, you can now see that side of the opposition can still come up now to produce the governor. We've seen also similar things happen in the administration of Martin Ilichi, when he decamped from the PDP to the Labour Party, and his candidate at that time was nearly the candidate to beat. So in every way, we are seeing elections being won where ordinarily they had not happened before, and we've seen elections being lost where ordinarily you would think that it has to be consolidated. Yeah. Sokoto State, for instance, now is now an APC state, and that is actually going back to traditionally what Sokoto State was in times past.
What about Zamfara?
And what about Zamfara now?
APC.
Where APC is now being displaced, so it's quite clear. And even when you look at the new members that are coming in from the various constituencies, certainly even if these people they come to a particular political party based on the reality that this is the party that may be elected or favored for election in their own constituency, certainly they have won elections under new political platforms, and they are coming back to the State House of Assembly like that.
I'm still talking about new parties in new places.
Yes.
New persons are also coming in now.
Yes.
Take, for example, in Kaduna State here, Chikun, Kajuru Federal Constituency, where we have Fresher coming in.
Yes.
The Labour Party candidate, Ekene Adams, that was able to upstage someone that has been in the house for about 20 years.
Yes, certainly.
That's one case. Then also in Yobe State, where a 25 years old young man defeated the current Speaker of Yobe State House of Assembly, ending his 20 years reign in the House. That's in the person of Honorable Mirwa. And the young man was actually 5 years old when Mirwa got into the State House of Assembly.
Oh, yes.
Now he's upstate. Then, if you also look at Kwara State, where another young lady, Rukayat, also Rukayat Chitu, was declared the winner of the Kwara State House of Assembly election. She contested under the banner of the ruling All Progressive Congress. Yeah. She is also a young lady, 26 years old, attended Baptist Local Government Primary School, and all of that. Now, she is also in the State House of Assembly. One, a female. Two, very young. Booting, whoever was there before to be the person that's in the State House of Assembly. Now, for me, what all of this translates to is that our democracy is getting better. There is the era where you get anointed by one godfather somewhere, or the era when they would say traditionally our zone is so and so party. That era is gradually coming to an end, and Nigerians, I believe, are better enjoying the dividends of democracy. Okay, very soon we'll open up the phone lines, but meanwhile, I'd like to let you know that the line that you'll be calling us through today is 0809 799 1989. That's 0809 799 1989. That is the number that you call to be part of the program today, as the other regular line that you know is presently under maintenance. Let me put it that way. So if you want to call us on the program today, you use the number 0809 799 1989, and you can get across to us and make your contributions or react to any of to react to what we are discussing today, and let's also get your perspective to it. Coming back to, let's just start to take calls now. Then we'll also react to some of the calls, and let's make it a little bit interactive today. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the program.
Hello?
Hello, good evening. You're welcome to Ground Zero.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, you are welcome to the program.
My name is Peter from Sabo.
All right, Peter from Sabo.
Yes.
All right, Peter, talk to us.
How is work?
Fine, thank you. And how is yours?
How is work?
Work is good. How is your own work or business?
Thank God. I just want to...
Say, I really cannot hear you clearly. Maybe if you call us back or change your location. 0809-464-6206 is the number to dial to be part of the program this evening. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Mr. Ehis.
Good evening.
Good evening to your guest. This is Engineer Emmanuel.
Oh, Engineer Emmanuel, you're welcome to the program.
Yeah, I just want to ask your guest, despite the fact that progressing gradually, we are not where we ought to be, but I think we'll still get there. I want to ask your guest, the Electoral Act signed into law, not like what the incident that happened in Kaduna when they were delivering the result. Now, the PDP candidate was quoting some section of the Electoral Act, but the returning officer at the front was just specific on the result gotten from the local government, which now does it mean the Electoral Act has no power to supersede any other district? Because if there is a law, I think there's a legal procedure. Now they are quoting it, and now it's saying that is not his business. His business that the result from the local government, that is just what he's going to read out. Now, if the result has been transmitted to the Viva, to the other district, now and they have got it, instead of him to follow and look into it, and now do his judgment, he was just based on that the result he got from the local government. So then what is the need of the electoral act signed into law? So if they could not abide by it, they need to think there is a threat to our democracy. Because I was just so amazed, I was just so, I lost faith in the whole procedure. Because that's why they say they are going to transmit this result to the Viva. Now that is the authentic result. Now, and this people brought that result, then this man put aside that result of the Viva, was reading the one that they did manually.
All right, Engineer Emmanuel.
Just to throw more light onto it.
Definitely. And Emmanuel, you've made your point. Definitely he would throw and shed more light into it. But I also still want you to know that basically as a coalition officer, he's there to put together results that are physically brought to him. And that is exactly what he did yesterday. He did not say whatever was uploaded in the Beavers does not count. But what he said was that these are results brought to him physically and reports given to him by the returning officers from the various local government areas. Now, that does not in any way mean that he's saying that the Beavers does not count. That does not at all. And the good thing about it all is that whatever is uploaded there on the IRF server is still there. And for those that are seeking redress, they can always go there and also reference it in whatever defense or support they are giving to their case. And the reason why I'm taking out time to explain this is that sincerely we appreciate the call. We'd like us to talk about it, but we should simmer down. Let's take a chill pill. Let's take this call. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, you're welcome to Ground Zero. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Hello.
You are welcome to Ground Zero. What's your name and where are you calling us from? All right, let me also let you know again that you cannot listen to yourself on radio and talk on the phone and the same time. There's a little time lag. So whenever your call is picked, just concentrate on your call and talk to us via the phone, not through the radio. There's a little time lag between when your call comes to Procyon Radio and Television, when Procyon Radio and Television signal gets to Invicta FM, when the signal from Invicta FM gets into Invicta FM transmitter. There's a little time lag of some few seconds that may disorient anybody. Even me, with professionals that know about this time lag, it also disorients us. So please, when we pick your call, just listen to the phone and forget about the radio until when you are done. Hello, good evening, welcome to Ground Zero.
Hello, good evening, sir. Ehis, and the event and the studio there.
Good evening, what's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Comrade Gabriel from Kaduna, sir.
All right, Comrade Gabriel.
What surprises me is that of all the political party campaigning, because in 2015, for example, when Buhari was coming into office, he made a clear code of what he's going to do for Nigerians. That the process of refineries, trying to write up the data, the period subsidy, bring it straight to 50 now or so. But today, as I'm speaking to you, none of this political party has a clear cut agenda. The only agenda they had that they were focused on how to win election. So I don't know what actually the problem is. But telling one thing and Kaduna that we are potential to ask one political party, he says that by the time they come in, because even the closest that I'm saying, they say that they are saying that it is not their own. We are paying taxes just as what you are going to say. We are paying taxes, we are paying value added tax, and a lot of things we are being paid to Kaduna. But up to today, sir, in 2028, nobody is saying anything about Kaduna Tesla Limited. It's 4 million Tesla Limited open by this amount of around. So what I want to ask your place, would these political parties that the one now, would they really do the actual work they come for, because no clear cut of what they are going to do for us? Thank you, sir.
Danjuma, Abbas, I'd like you to react to that. Well, you may also talk about what issues that Engineer Emmanuel
has raised. Engineer Emmanuel had raised a very important issue. And I can recollect listening to the returning officer talking about the regulations as provided to him in a document, as this is your terms of reference and these are the things to look out for. And I believe that that document was also in line with the Electoral Act. And then for these elections, it is not an end in itself. It's a process, and that is why there is a tribunal. That is why the people can go to court and seek redress. And certainly, where this act is being violated, parties can always seek redress. Let's not forget so soon that we have seen how this happened even in the case of Adams Oshomole. When Professor Osumbo was enjoying his administration, he was far gone into the administration when the Supreme Court when the Supreme Court granted judgment that returned Adams Oshomole to become governor of Edo State. And so the polls itself, the coalition itself, the announcement of the winner is not the end of the process. And political parties really have a very good understanding about that. And yes, the Beavers was supposed to settle all disputes on electoral matter. I can tell you that I was viewing results on Beavers, and there are certain polling units that you will check, and you will find that the election there has been cancelled. That is the result you will see. Cancellation. It is uploaded on Beavers as cancellation. Why? Because the reasons are there, whether there is overvoting or whether there was a violence that disrupted the process. All of those things are captured there. And if you listen closely to what the reg was talking about, he was discounting some particular results based on the incidences that were reported concerning those areas. Yes. And so it is left for the court to decide whether or not these issues were valid. And these are not far-fetched, that it's actually quite easy. Remember again that even the PDP has raised concerns on results with Birnungwari. We're talking about Kaduna State now.
Yes.
Results about Birnungwari and Lere local government. Certainly, by the time they go seeking redress in court, some of these things will come out more clearer than what we have seen in terms of the results that were announced. So they were only talking about the announcement of results based on the votes that were being collated even at the point of that collation yesterday. So certainly there is no cause for alarm. There is a legal process. These political parties are very familiar with this process, and certainly where the will of the people have been sabotaged by process, certainly the court will have its own way of ensuring that justice is served. About the issue of political parties and what it is they are bringing to the people, they have shared that in blueprint. They have shared that in manifesto. I believe that even the person who has been returned elect had shared a manifesto of this and this and these are the things that we want to do. And it was for us at the point of engagement to really highlight these very important issues. Let me say again that there are so many things that this administration will actually require. You've seen how government will come up with the position about how much foreign direct investment or investment in the private sector they've been able to attract and grow, and reduce the issues around unemployment and also increase their revenue. These are issues that are going to consistently be part of governance, and certainly whoever is going to become governor in Kaduna State from this year understands that whether he likes it or not, 35 billion is going to be leaving the coffers of the government to service debt. And certainly by next year there will be more. And even the current budget that we have now is actually debt dependent. And so whatever it is that you are that we are faced with already, we certainly should know that there is nobody who is going to be enjoying a tea party because he has won election. There is going to be so much demand, first from the private sector, secondly from communities, next also from various segments of the society. Students will be making their demand. Workers will be making their demand. Workers again translate that goes beyond just the civil servants as you have them. There are teachers, there are also health workers and what have you. And all of these demands are going to be requiring so much resources, and the utilization of these resources is what is going to make the leaders stand out. And so as much as possible, let us hope to see that we will begin to see a better industrialization in Kaduna. We might be seeing more industries coming in. We might also be seeing a return of some of those that are actually moribund. As much as possible, I know these issues have actually been put forward, and candidates have really given their disposition to them all. And let's not also forget that the main power in a democracy is still the State House of Assembly.
Yeah.
And for the first time now, we're about to see them being really, really powerful, because they no more have to go and beg for contracts just to get their statutory allocations and the very things that they need to have very quality oversight over all of the departments and institutions of the executive.
All right, we'll take this call now. Hello, good evening and welcome to Ground Zero. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Hello.
Yes, you are welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Abdurrashid Ibrahim. I'm calling from Agbon.
All right, Abdul Rashid.
Yeah. So I'm a first caller.
Oh, you're welcome.
I want to talk about the protest here. We should learn to be optimistic. Let's not try to condemn things before they are being done. Like your guest said, this is the election whereby we saw children, let me use the word children, 25 and co, unseating people that are older than them, people that have been grandparents in their assets. And also, my advice to the youth is the issue of elections is much more like that of a football team. You lose today, you win tomorrow. So let's join hands to see how we can make both the state, Kaduna State, and the nation in general prosperous. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Abdul Rashid. 0809 799 1989 is the number to dial. 0809 799 1989 is the number to dial to add your voice to the conversation this evening. And the program is Ground Zero. We are looking at now that the elections are over, what next? And looking at it from different angles and shedding more light to it. And also, my guest this evening is Danjuma, Abbas, Dangwa, and together we are looking at all of this. Let's pick this call. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ground Zero.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, you are welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Peter calling back from Sabo.
All right, Peter.
I just want to ask your guest about this issue. This thing that happened in Lagos when some political party, deny people not to cast their vote just because they don't want them to. If you don't want to vote for their party, they don't want you to come out, or maybe you can stay in your house. I want your guest to answer us. If this thing that happened in Lagos is it democracy or
no.
maybe I don't know what to call it, but let me just explain to us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Certainly, that is criminality. That is criminality at its highest extent. You can see the kind of condemnation that was returned back to the Nigerian police spokesperson, who even considered the threat that was issued as a joke, because you do not consider such issues at all as joke. Ordinarily, the police acted as the judge and jury in that particular case, because this is about a public outcry and about a sensitive statement as that. And you could see again that on the day of elections, those threats were carried out. And I know as much as possible, let me say again that whatever happened in Lagos around the disenfranchisement of voters, around the double standard that even some electoral officials played, it is a misnomer and it's something that should not stand. As much as possible, I understand what you are saying, Peter, and I can tell you that strongly that those actions are condemnable.
All right, Peter, you've had it. 0809 799 1989 is the number to dial to add your voice to our conversation this evening on the program Ground Zero. We are looking at now that the elections are over, what next and how do we strengthen our democracy and, of course, improve governance or deliver on what our elected officials say they are going to do. Now, looking at the autonomy that has been granted to states' House of Assemblies and the fact that all of these years we had an executive rubber-stamped either state House of Assembly or National Assembly.
Yes.
Now that we have this,
yes,
do you think that our legislature at the state level have grown enough B-words to be able to face the executive at the state level?
Certainly they have, because what we used to have is this oversight function that these assembly members should have was not just reducing them to waiting and getting reports from ministries, departments, and agencies of government. It required that they go all out to see for themselves firsthand whether these things that they have approved, as laws, what they have passed as laws, what they have passed as appropriate, even the budget itself is a law, that these things are being implemented to the latter.
Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ground Zero.
Hello?
Good evening, you are welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Hello, is it Ground Zero?
Yes, this is Ground Zero. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Hello?
Hello, you cannot listen to your radio and the telephone at the same time. I just said that. So each time you call us, immediately the call is picked, move away from your radio set and just listen to our conversation via the telephone. Leave the radio alone, because the radio will only confuse you. Try to listen to the radio and the telephone at the same time. Yes.
Well, so you ordinarily would not have a State House of Assembly that wait until another budget cycle is about to be initiated before they begin to ask the department and agencies of government, how much of this have you implemented, how much of this have you done? Those are the kind of things that we have seen over the years past.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Ground Zero. Hello, you are welcome to the program. Wow.
So, and so it didn't have to wait until when a new budget cycle is about to, be introduced.
Hello, good evening.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes, you are welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
So I'm Emmanuel calling from Kekanya.
All right, Emmanuel, let's quickly have your take.
With the INEC is causing a lot of inconsistency.
How?
The same reason where results were declared inconclusive in Adamawa State, for instance, happened in Kaduna. If you look at the details. But in Kaduna, just like you said, he's just there to compile the results and what have you. You see, when these inconsistencies happen, people are confused.
All right.
So people get confused when you now have the same rule. We are obeying the same law, carrying out different, interpreting it in different ways.
Well, since we are not there physically,
Let me give you a specific example.
quickly.
In the case of Adamawa,
Yes.
cases of overvoting were included in the number of votes that led to the inconclusiveness of the election. But specifically, that of Kaduna State yesterday, when the PDP agent was talking, the returning officer said that when there is cases of that, it shall not be included. Overvoting is not included in what leads to inconclusiveness of the election.
Okay.
So that's just my observation.
All right. Thank you so very much. With the little that I also know of the Electoral Act, I wasn't in Adamawa State to say, but I was listening directly and keenly to that of Kaduna State. Yes, the little that I know and understand is whenever there is gross overvoting, that polling unit is cancelled, meaning that everybody there scores 0. Of course, depending on whatever the returning officer writes in this form E40, I think, the form in respect of complaints, that is what will help the state returning officer to determine whether or not. But like we also said earlier, all of these, when they get to court, can be easily resolved. Yes. We'll take this last call now. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ground Zero.
Okay, Shaba calling from Kaduna.
All right, quickly, you have actually 30 seconds.
Okay, connect me now. Shaba calling from Kaduna.
Talk to us, you are already connected. Sorry, we may not be able to take you. Like I said earlier, you can't listen to radio and telephone at the same time. That's exactly what Shaman wanted to do. That's the reason why you are getting confused. Like I said, there is a time lag between what you hear on radio and what we are saying directly. Let's come and try to wrap up the program now with the last comment from Emmanuel.
Well, what Emmanuel was saying, yes, that there are issues of overvoting.
Yeah.
It has led to
cancellation. That same thing happened in Adamawa.
And now Adamawa is going to have a rerun. And then in the case of Kaduna, it's actually different. Let me still say that whatever it is that the professor was saying yesterday, he is not the author of that process. Yeah. And certainly he's only doing what has been provided him based on the terms of reference as provided by INEC. And he cannot do just more than what the guidelines he's been provided and briefed, and of course, enlightened about, provides. So let us leave these other matters to the court to decide. And certainly we should keep faith that these political parties will really have their day in court to defend a mandate or to even prove true whether or not that there is any practices or sharp practices that had undermined the true winner of that poll. That said, we were talking earlier about the issue of the State House of Assembly.
Yes.
Now, we are going to have an assembly that has the financial muscle to carry out the day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month oversight over every institution in Kaduna State. And let me tell you what that means. We just have an assembly now that is exiting. This assembly could not provide you details about procurement, details about how these procurements were being handled. They did not have the statutory information that will leave you to no doubt at all that there was value for money in everything that the Kaduna State Executive had done. Now, we are not going to have that kind of situation with this new assembly, except, of course, they decide by their own veto or volition rather to shortchange the people. And that is where you also have powers, because you, the people, should now go back and reorganize yourself and ensure the frequency within which your State House of Assembly is holding constituency meetings with you. It should not be that you only see your member during burials, during weddings, during naming ceremonies. That's not democracy. Everybody can do that at every given point in time. But you have to call the attention of your member to every issue of interest. If there is any project or intervention of government happening in your constituency and you have no idea about what it is, you have the responsibility to engage your State House of Assembly member. In the event that the executive arm of government, that is that institution of government that is implementing that project, is refusing to carry you along on what is being done, you have the responsibility of engaging your member, getting all of the facts that you require. And I want to tell you that you are empowered by even the laws by the laws around procurement, by the laws of Nigeria, that is the constitution itself, to participate fully in your government. So as much as possible, let us see you take action. Let us see you organize yourself now at the constituency level and not allow the issue of consultation, the issue of community engagement, the issue of constituency briefs and meetings to be the prerogative of just the political party. Because sometimes what members do is to hold meetings with their political party members and exclude the entire community. Organize yourself, have your day for which you want to have all those meetings, invite the member. Remember that it is your own responsibility. It is you who determines and decides whether or not this member should last 4 years or should be recalled back even after 6 months.
All right. That's about the size of the program this evening. I want to sincerely thank you, the listener, and all those that called in on the program today. And also, I want to also thank you for all your contributions. Danjuma Abbas Dangwa has been my guest this evening, and by next week Friday we will be on again for our fresh edition of the program. And by the time we come in, we believe that we'll be able to give you more of what we have been giving you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so
much. My name
is
Ehis Agbon. I want to thank Mercy Ofuya, Nifemi Onibiyo, Grace Adebayo, and Mike Boniface for all that they contributed to the success of today's program, and also to the management and staff of Invicta FM. I appreciate you. My name is Ehis Agbon. You'll be listening to Ground Zero on Procyon Radio and Television in collaboration with Invicta FM. Till some other time, plant a tree today, water it and watch it grow. May the good mighty Lord bless and keep us all.